All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Assemble. My name is High Ruler, and today we're going back to Realm of Champions. So, for anyone who's been here a while, knows that at one point I was actively playing it. The idea of what it is still excites me. A Marvel MOBA, Marvel Battle Arena, whatever you want to call it, right? Whether you compare it to Bloodline Champions or you compare it to a numerous amount of different MOBAs out there, the prospect of what this game is still actively excites me and still kind of draws me into it every now and again. Now, this game has not done well. Let's be frank about it. This game has failed to capture an audience. It has failed to capture a large player base. And because of that, they are now making sweeping changes over the next 12 months to kind of not just not to excite the existing player base, but in hopes of drawing in more players to the game. Now, we could talk about all the issues the game has, starting with maybe the character designs, going into such a niche kind of game itself. But I think what we're going to see out of this roadmap today is that they are trying to address a lot of the core issues of the game. And then hopefully from there, we have a game that is worth playing and being excited about. So with that being said, let's get right into the roadmap and we'll see what we're going to get. So all this, top stuff is just being we're so excited. Here's what we're going to do, yada, 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 right? We've all read that before. But here are the areas of the game that we're working to improve. So here's the core bit that we need to know. Summoners are not in control of their own progression. That summoners are players. Gear needs to be more meaningful. Not enough variety in gameplay from one day to the next. A more robust endgame. And you want to play with all your champions. Okay, that's a pretty good solid list of all the issues that the game has. There's probably some more you could work in there, but in terms of the core issues that the game has, this is a pretty solid list to start off with. So let's go and see exactly what they're going to do to fix this moving forward. The issues, putting you in charge of your progression. In Realm, most of your progression is based on your champion's battle rating. And as your battle rating increases based on your performance in Arena Conquest. Competition is fierce in this mode, but even if you're the best performing at your peak, bots and teammates can spell defeat for you, and a loss in Conquest can be pretty painful. High tier matchmaking is dominated by parties, so if you wanted to log in and play at any time by yourself, that's just not possible. You need to have a party of 2 other summoners if you want to be able to compete. We need a mode where you can compete in PvP solo and need some way for you to progress even if you lose. Making gear matter. So these are expanding on all the points. So when we set out to give you the ability to make Marvel yours, we knew that a robust RPG gear system was going to be a core part of that goal. But right now, gear is not as meaningful as it should be. You get a lot of gear, and your gear level rises so quickly that the gear you get never feels permanent or has conflicting stats. Then you spend a significant part of your time just cleaning out your inventory of the gear that you don't need. It's pretty hard to get excited about gear when it feels so temporary. Lastly, weapons are too random, meaning that you may not be able to find a strong version of your favorite. We need to make gear more permanent and give you more control over the gear that you receive. Variety is the spice of life. Summoners are always jumping into Conquest, and why wouldn't you? This is where you get BR and progress your champions. But as the most popular mode, it means that the other modes struggle to find their purpose. They don't give BP, and they don't give you unique rewards. Conquest is designed to be fair and balanced, but that means that it isn't very diverse in nature. We want to address this by making more modes feel like they're worth your time to play and make the game experience feels like it changes almost daily. Okay, that's pretty good. We're in the endgame now. Currently, there's no meaningful endgame grind for our top summoners. Some modes like Season and World Quest act as endgame content, but they struggle to challenge the top 1% of our player base. This compounds a few other issues. Alliances, or guilds, don't yet have a rewarding and meaningful way to compete. Outside of Seasons, your battle rating is stagnant. We aim to fix that by developing more competitive and fair spaces in the endgame of Realm for both co-op and solo play. To stay true to the competitive heart of Realm, we need to fix Seasons to not only cultivate competition in the game, but also reward the hard work you put into topping the leaderboards. Cool. Avengers Assemble. One thing that we've heard loud and clear is that you love getting and playing with new champions. Currently, changing champions means that you're essentially starting from scratch at the newcomer tier, and the only way to catch up is an intense grind or resources that you save for a rainy day. This is a big problem with the game, swapping around and trying to find different characters to play with. This is a very big issue. We want to get champions into your hands faster and develop ways for you to be able to catch up and upgrade your champions while they're on the bench. Cool, that's really good. How do we get there? This won't be quick and it won't be easy. We know that we want to fix, and we've started planning out how to do it. Below, we're going to share those plans with you, and we want to hear your feedback on it all. Before we get into specifics, please keep in mind that this is a development roadmap. That means changes will happen, and some items might get pushed or just not come to fruition. Okay, pretty good outline of like everything that's going on with the game right now. Expanded on the points, expanded on the issues. This right here was a really good, kind of like a little bit of a deep dive. I don't want to say deep dive, but like, peeling back a few layers and all the issues going on. This was really good by them right here. All right, so now let's get into what do we have planned for the near future. Well, this is a look at what we're working on right now and expect to have out in the next 1 to 4 months. That's actually really good. Squad Conquest working title. You should probably change that. Squad Conquest is a brand new game mode that puts you back in control of your own progression. In Squad Conquest, you will take on another summoner in 1v1 combat. Unlike Arena Conquest, your team is made up of your own controlled champions and 2 other champions from your roster, which will be controlled by the AI. Okay. Being able to choose your entire team means to be able to find champions that complement your champion's abilities. Being able to choose your entire team means that you'll be able to bring your champions that complement your champion's abilities, and being a 1v1 mode means you can expect faster matchmaking. This will provide you with more agency over your play. Interesting. I don't know how I like this, right? I see what they're going for, right? Players want to use more of their champions. Players want to be able to kind of like level up champions without having to play them, right? So like the idea is that players right now aren't getting any XP for the champions whatsoever. They sit on the bench and you don't get XP until you use them, which means you can grind like your Thor, for example, but if you switch over to your super soldier, it's all the way at the bottom. And like because of that, maybe you're shitting on new players who are actively just like brand new to the game, whereas you're an older player, you're more skilled, but you're just trying out a new character for whatever reason, right? So because of that, there's an imbalance there within the matchmaking that they're trying to address. I like it. Problem is that I don't know if players want a 1v1 mode with 2 bots, right? A lot of the time with the game right now, you look at what they're doing with the game, right? A lot of its bots are filled with matchmaking, right? Or matchmaking is filled with bots, I should say. So I don't know if giving players a 1v1 mode, but pairing them up with bots of their own choosing is really going to be what they want. It seems like they're working under the guise of the game right now, which is the game has a lot of bots. So how do we use our bot system in a way that favors players? It's an interesting idea and it's an interesting theory. I don't know if players are going to take to this like they think they will. They could have done passive XP. For example, for every character that you take into, Conquest, say, for example, you get a certain amount of XP, give 25% of that or 10% of that, even if you really want to be like very, like small amounts to it. Give 10% of your XP earned by your active character to your squad. That's an interesting idea there. You know what I mean? So you're still kind of playing, your main guy, but you're actively earning XP for the bench characters and without having to do any sort of bot maneuver whatsoever. Interesting idea. I see why they're going with this one instead of my idea, but remains to be seen if players will take to this game mode like they think they will. I hope they do. Remains to be seen. Okay, so now let's look at auto-equipped. With auto-equipped, you'll be able to automatically equip the best gear for your champion. If you just earned a huge amount of gear and aren't sure what to put on, auto-equipped will eliminate a lot of the guesswork and get you back to playing right away. Okay, that's cool. That's fine. I like that. Daily dungeons, adding more content variety. Daily dungeons will be a new game mode that changes each weekday and lets you play solo. Each day will come with different scenarios for you to tackle and different rewards for you to claim. Okay, I like that. Actually, that's pretty cool. Seasons and endgame content. We want seasons to be a regularly occurring part of the game and are looking at expanding rewards and milestones. We've been experimenting with seasons and look forward to moving out of beta soon. We're continuing to refine our rules and ensure that we keep seasons fair for all summoners competing. Okay, yeah, why not? Not really a lot of details there other than we're working on something, maybe it'll be, not a lot of details there. Whereas like daily dungeons, there's not a lot of details there either, but you look at daily dungeons and you're like, okay, I get what they're doing here. I look at season and endgame content, it says little and, means even less, but regardless, what is the game that we're heading for? When we think about the long-term growth of Realm of Champions, we are excited about all the possibilities we can explore. The following goals, ideas, and principles are longer term and will guide some of our choices we make going forward. We want you to experiment and diversify. Over the next little while, the core idea of exploration is exactly what we intend to deliver. We want to craft reasons to play with every champion and for you to switch up your weapons and builds. It should also be easy and fun to catch up with new champions so you're always playing at your highest potential. That's good. I like that. Competition should be something you work towards. Realm has a competitive foundation, but we need to craft ways for you to progress outside of the core modes to give you more of an individual identity. Ranked progression should be exciting and impactful. If it's tied so closely to progression, it becomes mundane. Okay, all right. We want to put more progression into Summoner's Journey. Summoner's Journey is a feature that proved to be successful upon its initial launch, and we want to expand on it. In this sense, we need to provide you with a way to progress in the game regardless of a win, loss, or mode you participate in. This means you can play whatever you want while still working towards long-term achievements in game. All right, okay, here we go. We need to revamp the gear system. Based on the feedback we've received, the changes we made to gear aren't quite hitting the mark, and we're exploring how to fix that. We want to make gear more durable with more stats that directly contribute to making your champions feel more powerful. Upgrading gear should not be an afterthought and should meaningfully develop not only the piece of gear, but your champion as a whole. Oh, okay. We're looking into the role of synergies and how they interact with gear and believe there should be a way to chase those synergies for a perfect build. We've explored the idea of removing gear levels altogether and transitioning that chase into rarity of gear. However, this is all still in the planning process, so we're excited to hear about what you think when we have more to share. That's actually interesting. I wish I knew more that I could comment on it, but I like what they're saying here. I think that's interesting, but I would have to see the implementation, and I would have to actually play the game more for me to have a fundamental understanding of what they're trying to do here. But I think on the top layer of my brain, which is the thinnest layer possible, I'm using that layer right now. I think that's an interesting idea. Huh, okay. Make weapons more like champions. We are exploring ways to change the role of weapons in the game. We want weapons to feel like unlocks rather than something you have to roll for. We believe your weapon should play a role in dictating what gear you want to equip to your champion and therefore provide more reasons to experiment with weapons, champions, and builds. Oh, okay. All right. We want you to be excited about new content every day. Finally, we want you to be excited about playing each day with fresh content to explore solo or with friends, to build friendships and maybe even rivalries. This means we need to give you more modes to play with unique rewards that advance your progression. All right, we're going to be experimenting with changes to Arena Conquest and the role of maps from a gameplay perspective to make you think, strategize, and really help Battle World come alive. Imagine different maps giving different buffs or debuffs. That is so smart. Why haven't they done this yet? That is so good. That is actually based, right? I never say that. But that actually is a great idea. The role of maps tied to the gameplay element that you're trying to provoke is so smart. This is actually like, not only do maps provide different gameplay strategies based on the character you're playing, but if you tie in different buffs and debuffs into the map, then you're having to strategize going around getting the different buffs or trying to do different things to actively employ a debuff against the team you're fighting. There's actually more there that they should probably invoke in the gameplay element of their game, right? And not just this too, but like actively look at different like game modes in itself in Arena Conquest, right? How do you do things that aren't just going like 3v3 fight, right? Play over objectives, play over different things that you can take over and different things that you can use to power up your character or depower enemy characters. That is actually so smart. The fact that they're now actively looking at stuff like that is really promising for the future of Arena Conquest. Really good. I actually really like that. Moving forward, we talked about some big changes here. Most of them won't be quick and many will be complicated. We're asking for your patience and for your help. You will notice that there may be some months and updates coming that aren't as full as content as you're used to. As we take another look at major areas of the game, we need to slow down a little so we can turn the ship in a direction that means we're creating the best possible game for you all. So this is really good. Honestly, guys, I have not really played Realm of Champions in a while. I'm sure many of you guys don't even know what Realm of Champions is if you're on this channel. But I really think the changes they're making to this game over the next 12 months is something that people should keep an eye on if you're looking at maybe another Marvel mobile game to play in the off time, right? We know that we have all these other Marvel mobile games, right? You think of the Strike Forces and the Future Revolutions, the Conquest of Champions and the Future Fights. Like, we know we have all these different games that we can play. For me, what makes this one the most unique and interesting, that is a pure PvP environment. There's, obviously they're trying to flesh it out with some different game modes, but the whole point of this is to be a pure PvP arena battler or MOBA, whatever you want to call it. And that's why I keep a close eye on this one, because I think this one, personally speaking, is the most potential to speak to me. A lot of these changes here really does seem like they understand what the core issue of the game is. And they now know that, like, to do all these changes in order to make the best game possible, it's going to be a while. So I'm actually very excited to see what is going to happen over the next 12 months. And honestly, I am kind of scared because it seems like they have 12 months to implement all these fixes. And then at the end of 12 months, if the game doesn't do what it needs to do, it's like, But, that's obviously like a scenario based on, some theories there, right? But if we're just looking at what we get here, in terms of everything they want to do, I am very optimistic about the future of Realm of Champions, and I'm optimistic that moving forward, this could be a game that I revisit more frequently than once every few months. So, with that being said, guys, if you do play Realm of Champions, and I know it might be a very small amount of you, but if you do, what kind of features do you want to see in the game moving forward? When you look at the roadmap today, does this kind of like squash a lot of your negative feelings about the game? Are you hopeful for the future? Let me know in the comment below, and I will see you guys next time here on Assemble. I'll see you guys Sunday for the Avengers Weekly Recap. So if you guys are interested in that, pop by Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern. I'll be joined by Stardust, as always, as we talk about Wakanda and everything to do with Avengers. But with that being said, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time here on Assemble. Take care, take it easy, peace out, later, guys.